and welcome to Magic Box Storytime. I'm Lottie, and we're going to find out what happens in Chapter 4, the last chapter of the Tale of the Lost and Found. Linda and her new team of finders have reached Bear Cage Mansion. Will they find Fred the Ted? Let's see. Chapter 4, The Countess. "How do we get in?" said Jenny. They were all standing in the porch, gazing up at the huge front door of Bear Cage Mansion. "Well," said Linda, "not sure Tatiana's the type to answer the doorbell." Luke said, why didn't he just give the door a bit of a push? And he did, and the door swung open heavily. Linda made a face. "Not much of a security system," she said. They moved silently into the house and found themselves in a large, dim hall. Normally, if you go through a front door into someone's hallway, there are certain things you expect to see, aren't there? Some hooks with coats on them, for example. Maybe some shoes, a little table with keys and some post. There's even a bike sometimes, isn't there? Well, this hall wasn't like that. No coats, no shoes, no keys, and no bike. Just glass case next to glass case, next to glass case, next to glass case. Who knows how many there were? Skipping Red Anorak tried to count them, but he didn't get past 37 before the worst bit happened. And in every single one of the glass cases was a teddy bear. Big, small, really fluffy, quite fluffy, velvety, bald, all different colours, all with a definite lonely air about them. The glass cases were all the same type, and Linda reckoned that one key probably worked for the whole lot of them. "If we could just find that key," she whispered, "we could free them all." And then the worst bit happened. The worst bit I mentioned a few lines ago, I mean. Linda gasped and said, "Oh, look." Skipping Red Anorak stopped counting the glass cases, and everyone peered into the corner of the hall where Linda was pointing. In the murky light, they could just make out that someone was standing there. "It's the Countess," Linda said. And as she said it, the sun came out, and a ray of light shot through the window above the front door and hit the corner they were looking at. The Countess was there, blinking in the unexpected brightness. Her silvery hair was piled up on her head, held in place by a tiny teddy bear hair clip. Her eyes were icicle blue and staring. She wore a long, purple, very frilly, very lacy ball gown and seemed to be singing to herself in a strange, high voice. She looked exactly like the kind of mad, posh lady you would not want to let anywhere near your teddy bear. "How long did you say it takes to get over measles?" asked Skipping Red Anorak. "Longer than we've got," said Linda. "What's she holding in her hand?" said Jenny. They all peered some more, and Linda said, "Ah." "What?" said Luke. "She's got a set of Russian nesting dolls," said Linda. "You know, a big wooden doll with a smaller doll inside it, and a smaller doll inside that, and a smaller one inside that, etc., until you get to a really tiny doll." "So?" said everyone. By the way, no one was bothering to whisper anymore. Countess Tatiana was clearly so mad there wasn't any point. "Those nesting dolls would be the perfect place to hide a key," said Linda. "The glass case key must be inside them. I'll bet Hilda my high-vis jacket on it." The problem that faced them now, of course, was this. How do you persuade a mad, teddy bear-stealing posh lady to give you her precious key-hiding Russian nesting dolls? For a moment, they were all stumped. Then Jenny said, "You said the Countess was from Siberia." Linda snapped her fingers. Yes, she said, you're right. She likes things nice and icy. So what if we warm her up a bit? She won't be comfortable with that. The octopus, said Luke. Exactly, said Linda. She moved forwards and beckoned the team to follow her. Approach slowly, she said. No sudden movements. Don't want to startle her. Right. All stand round her in a circle. And on my signal, ready, steady, octopus. They surrounded the Countess and octopused more than they'd ever octopused before. It was amazing. No one got hurt, considering how much wild and frenzied octopusing there was. And the amount of heat they worked up was extraordinary. Linda watched Tatiana Nikitedioff. Oh, she's looking very hot and flustered. She said, oh, my word, yes, and she's fainted. Everyone stopped octopusing and stared at the heap of frilly, lacy purple stuff on the floor. Wow, they said, all together. Jenny picked up the Russian nesting dolls and started undoing them. Luke helped. It was a very large set, about 55 dolls in total. Finally, though, they'd reached the tiniest one in the middle. Luke undid it, and inside was a really small, sparkly key. Do it, Luke, said Linda. Luke went round the hall, unlocking the glass cases, and Jenny and the rest of the team helped Linda gather the teddy bears and put them in their backpacks. One of the bears, a particularly fine and cuddly teddy bear, brought a happy cry from Linda. Oh, it's Fred the Ted, she said. Our operation has been successful, team. Luke, give him a hug. The Countess woke up after a while. She looked quite confused and tried to eat her hair clip. Linda took her team to one side and said, what do you reckon, everyone? Should we leave her one teddy to keep her company? Yeah, they all thought that would be the kind thing to do, and they liked being kind. Linda chose a bear with purple frills to match the Countess's ball gown. She asked Luke and Jenny to teach Tatiana how to hug her bear. And Countess, she said, make sure you do hug it every day. Linda will know if you don't, and I'll be back. The Countess said, sorry, who's Linda? And Linda said, I am. Tatiana Nikitedioff promised. At first, she wasn't sure if she wanted to hug a teddy, but when she tried it, it made her feel a bit less mad than usual, so she thought she might stick at it, like Linda suggested. Outside Bear Cage Mansion, which really needed a new name, Linda thanked her team. You did me proud, trainee finders, she said. I've got to get back to the office now to write my report, but first let me give you all your finder's fee. You're probably the best team I've worked with. She handed out gold coins with chocolate inside them, and everyone sighed with joy because they'd been fancying a bit of chocolate since the top of Bag Mountain. I expect they'll let you be a finder again now, said Luke to Linda as they walked back. Which reminds me, Linda said, why did you lot come to the office of the Lost and Found this morning? What did you lose? Our teacher, said Luke. 1 minute she was taking the class register, and the next she'd vanished. Linda stopped, cleared her throat, and said, Trainee finders, assemble. Luke, Jenny, and their friends grinned at each other. Then they made a line, and Linda took out her clipboard. And that is the end of the tale of the Lost and Found. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for listening to Magic Box Storytime with me, Lottie. See you later.